Hi, it's me, Ms. Maney. Today we are going to learn how to use Chrome Music Lab, which we have done a couple times in the past. But if this is your first video watching that, I will show you how to use it. Specifically, though, we're going to go into the arpeggio experiment and kind of play around with that. So here is my home screen. It's just a Google search engine, Google search bar, web page, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to type in Chrome Music Lab. Clearly, I have searched for it recently, so I'm just going to click it. You can go ahead and type that into your Google search, Chrome Music Lab. And once you get to your results, you're going to see there's a bunch of little subcategories that come up. We're going to go ahead and click that main one right there. And this takes us to the main screen for Chrome Music Lab. It shows a bunch of different pictures. You can scroll down and see that there are more. Each picture resembles a little specific area we can play with. We call them experiments. I have already recorded a tutorial how to play with the song maker experiment as well as the rhythm experiment. But we're going to go ahead and use the arpeggio experiment. It is this circle, looks like a color wheel with some letters that go around it with a play button in the middle. This is the arpeggios experiment. So go ahead and click on that. And what an arpeggio is, I want you to think back, and last year around Halloween, we learned about major and minor scales. We will be doing the same for this year, so hopefully that is kind of fresh in your mind, but maybe not. A major and minor scale, we talked about how it sounds different. One sounds spooky or one sounds happy or things like that. So for example, a C major scale would just be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Major scale. Do, that's going to be our main note that we're kind of building upon. So in arpeggio, it takes some of those pitches and builds a chord. So a chord would be what I just played for you. And it just took do, mi, so out of what I just sang. It just took those three notes. Do, mi, so, plays them together, and there's your chord. But in arpeggio, rather than playing them all at the same time, we're going to play them individually. So here we go. This would be a C major arpeggio. It's those same notes I just sang to you, the do, mi, and so of that major scale. And then I added a couple more to it, and it just plays a nice arpeggio. So chord is when you play them all together. Arpeggio is when you play them separately. Okay, there are different styles of arpeggios. So notice you can kind of see the notes at the very top that are being played. But notice this button to the right with the arrow. You could click on this and it'll play it a little bit differently. Do, so, mi, so, do, so, mi, so, do, mi, so. Same notes, it's just played a little bit differently. Let's click that. Let's click that button. Oh, easy for me to say again. And we can see this one. It's those same notes. Do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do. It's just playing them nice and separated. So there's these different styles of arpeggios. But all they are is the do, the mi, and the so of that chord put together in a way where they're being played individually, but it's cool. This one's a little bit more advanced. So, okay, I want to go back to that first one that we were looking at. The first one is my favorite, but you can use whatever you want, play around with them. This is currently playing C major. It's the big C. That's the one that's black. The big C, that's how we know that we're playing C major. If I were to click on the big F, it would play F major. And then back to C, back to F, back to C. Okay, so you can play back and forth. The small letters, so notice we have the lowercase letters that are in the middle. Those are going to be your minor ones. So that was C major to F major. Let's do C minor. Where's that? Over here. Let's play that. Oh, hear the difference. C major, C minor, C major, C minor. You can notice up here which notes are changing. See those pink notes? We didn't have those in C major. They were blue. Now they're pink. Now they're blue. Everything else stayed the same. So it's still the same type of chord. We're just going from major to minor. You can see the difference there. So if I were to press the play button, then we hear the arpeggio. So we hear them played individually. And let's go ahead and switch to the F. There's F, back to C minor. Yep, back to F minor again. Back to C minor. Let's go to C major and hear the difference. There you go. Hear that difference? And now let's go to F major. But let's compare that to that F minor that we just played. Notice I moved my cursor to the lowercase f in the middle, and as soon as I press it, it changes. Let's go to C minor. So that minor has that spooky feel to it, whereas the major has that happy feel to it. So what I like to do with this is I like to use this almost as if I was singing with a guitar player. So something that I really like to play with is I look up the guitar chords to different songs. I'm not a guitar player. I have a guitar. I've been practicing it, but I'm not a very good guitar player. So I can't play chords and sing at the same time. One day I'll get there, but I'm not there right now. But this extension, this Chrome Music experiment, really kind of makes it possible for me to try. So you can see over here that I have put up the guitar. We call these guitar tabs. Basically, it's the chords that I'm going to move myself. Basically, it's the chords that you would play in order to play this song. So maybe this song is familiar to you. It's an old tune by Elvis. A lot of people have made it famous. And so I could just play it and then sing with it as if I'm playing it on guitar. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So notice there's that big C. So that's going to be your C major. Here it says E, M. The E is big, but then there's that small M. That actually means E minor. So when I see that one, I'm actually going to press the lowercase e on this page. Say with the A, M, it's a big A, but then there's that lowercase m next to it, so it's going to be A minor. So I would press the lowercase a. So for example, it would be wise men say. Okay, so C major, E minor, A minor. Then only fools would be F major. Rush is C major. In is G major. So if I were to put that with the tune, it starts C major, it could sound like this. Wise men say, only fools rush in. So that's one way you could do it. That time I just played the chords, right? If I'm clicking it on the wheel, I don't press the play button, it's playing the chords. It has the notes all playing at the same time. But if I want that full arpeggio, I would have to play it like this. And it just keeps repeating itself, just like everything else on Chrome Music Lab. So I could change it when I'm ready for the chord to change. So let's try it this way and see how it works. Okay, here we go. Wise men say, only fools rush in. Now notice, it's a little bit hard. I was mentioning this earlier. It's hard to make sure this note, this last note here, gets played before you change the chord and the next note is played. Does that make sense? So here, I'm going to play C major. And let's say my next chord is going to be E minor. My goal is to click, there we go, is to click the next chord so that way it completely finishes that first chord before playing the next one. It's kind of hard to do. The timing's hard. I'm still working on it. You're not going to be perfect either, and if you are, good for you. That's awesome. But it might be frustrating at times, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and there's a couple more things we can play with. So I'm going to move myself back over here for a second. Looking at the Chrome Music Lab side of my screen, notice that there is a little clock looking thing down here. It's actually a metronome. An old metronome used to swing back and forth and back and forth, and that's how it would keep the time. The weight would adjust and it would go at a different speed. So this is showing our tempo. You can hear it clicking. Let's say I want to go a little bit slower. Let's say that was too fast. I'm going to go down here. So it was at 120, if you remember, right? So I'm just going to scroll it down. I'm going to go back to 90. I'm going to say, okay. So let's hear the difference now. Much slower. Might be a little bit easier for me to play and sing this way. Let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to do the same thing I just did, okay? So I'm starting on that major, the C major chord, the C major arpeggio. My next one is going to be the E minor, because E, the big E over here on the right side of my screen, the big E with that lowercase m means E minor. So I'm going to actually click on the lowercase e. Let's go ahead and try it. Here we go. Wise men say only fools rush in. So that made it easier for me to play, but it was so slow that I couldn't breathe and sing it properly. So maybe let's go a little bit faster. We were at 120. 120 was a little fast for me. Let's try 105. Let's see how it goes, okay? So we're just playing with the tempo. I clicked on that metronome in the bottom right-hand side of that screen. Let's try it this one more time, okay? Let's see if we can get a little bit farther in the song. Ready? Here we go. Wise men say only fools rush in. I'm going to keep going though. But I can't help falling in love with you. Not my best. Maybe let's try it one more time, a little bit faster. Let's just go crazy, shall we? So if I want to go faster, I scroll it to the right. It was at 120. We could go as fast as 200. You want to hear how fast that is? I mean, I can't do what I was just doing at that speed. And listen, remember we have all those other arpeggios? That's more my speed, right? And then we have this one. Listen to the last one. Okay, unrealistic. Let's go back. Let's just go back to 120 where we started. Okay. We'll finish it out here. So let's go ahead and try it. 120. Click the OK button. Means we're good with it. I'm going to go back to that first arpeggio. It's my favorite. Maybe you'll find something different that you like a little bit more. And I'm going to go back and I'm looking at my screen that has my guitar tabs and trying it out. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not either. So, but it's fun to try, right? So I'm going to start on C. C is black. The big C is going to be for C major. And let's give it a try. All right, from the top. Do it a couple times, get the feeling, the tempo. Here we go. Wise men can't help falling in love with you. Oh, not my best. Let's try the next verse, okay? Here we go. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't falling in love with, oh no, hold on. Falling in love with you. It's fun to play around with. Do your best. Different songs you're going to want to use different arpeggios with. So I found that one was the best style to use with this song. Maybe you want to start with something easy. Start with a song that you're super duper familiar with. So Happy Birthday or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And all I did was I just searched guitar. Here we go. It shows you. It says guitar chords for I Can't Help Falling in Love. Or we could do guitar chords for, what's another popular one? Oh, here we go. Here's probably the most popular searches. Amazing Grace, Hallelujah, Shallow. That one's super hard. I tried that one. I couldn't do it. Maybe you can get it. Happy Birthday or Stand By Me. Happy Birthday would be an easy one probably. So we click on that. It's going to be, every website has it set up a little bit differently. There we go. This shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. So this would be Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jonathan. Happy birthday to you. So that was just me clicking on the chords, but of course you could play the arpeggios. Maybe this one would be easiest. Happy birthday to you. I don't know. Play around, figure it out, have fun, and I will see you soon. Good luck.